995 Lonnie's Furniture Company bringing you the show this hour. What an awesome place to go check out furniture. We're doing a project this year. We're going to need a little more furniture. We're going to have some addition stuff. And we were just talking about the options today. And I told Jessica, I was like, look, well, all we got to do is go to Lonnie's. They'll have something. Even if you're not quite sure what you're looking for, but you know you need something, just walking around a store with that many brands, that much style, an acre of selection, you're going to find something. Even if you, my experience at Lonnie is if you find something that's close, they may have a variation of it that's a little more to your liking or can order that for you. So that's the first good place to start is in their wonderful store with their team and all that selection inside, outside, all of your stuff, lamps, accessories. Maybe you just need a lamp or a set of lamps. Just go in there and browse the store and get to know them. And I'm telling you, it'll click with you when you walk in. That'll be your store for life. The prices are great. They're always great. Every now and then Reggie will sling a sale lettuce or give a discount. They had a discount last weekend. It's the save the tax discount because it's tax week. Nice thing they do every year. And every now and then he'll hit me with that. So listen out. But anytime you go in there day to day, all year long, there's always good value because of the quality of the stuff. And again, that incredible selection. And they'll bring it to you. Lonnie'sFurnitureCompany.com. LAUNIUS, Lonnie'sFurnitureCompany.com. Is my man Daryl still there, AJ? He was trying to wrap up something about the party registration bill, and I had to cut him short. Is he still there, AJ?
He's up.
Daryl, let me let you finish on that. You said you were listening to a station at night, and somebody came on to talk about the party registration bill in Alabama. And before you get too far, that bill did die this time, but they're going to they're going to come back and try to do it again because there's some party officials that think it's a good idea, and it's something that's been debated a long time. I'm super skeptical about it. I don't think it'll help matters.
Yeah, state of Alabama doesn't have that where you have to register with your party. Yep. This has been bothering me all weekend. So I didn't know you'd already discussed it, but anyway, okay. So the lady that was trying to explain the bill, and now this was early Saturday morning, so it may be that they're trying to push it back through. But they want you to register. So number one, that disenfranchises the independents.
Oh yeah,
well, that's a good. And I'm sorry, I'm a Republican. But that's a good Democrat strategy to disenfranchise people from voting. And on top of that, if you go to register, you got to have your driver's license. So that's a side note. But anyway, the reason why the lady was explaining it, she was a lawyer and she was trying to be non-biased. And she used a lot of they and them, they want to do this and whatever. I know it was Democrats. What they were saying is like if the Republican Party has one candidate running for a position with no opposition, then Republicans would go over and vote for the Democrat because the Democrats would have two candidates running in that position, and the Republicans would vote for the worst of the two to push him through to the general. And the Democrats are going, no, we don't want that. We want our guy that we've chosen to be able to, face against. And I'm sitting there thinking, I don't know a lot about politics, but I don't know hardly any Republican that's sitting around going, what can we do to, to disrupt the Democrat Party? We're all worried about paying bills and, raising kids and this, that, and the other. And half the time we don't vote during the primaries because we're too busy doing other stuff. And I just wanted listeners to understand that this was like 4:30 in the morning, Saturday morning. How many people do you think that are, really invested into politics are up at 4:30 in the morning trying to, hear this lady talk? So the Democrats say, well, we'll put it on the radio this early in the morning and there won't be hardly anybody hearing it. And if anybody complains, we say, oh, no, we broadcasted on the radio. It's your fault that you didn't hear it.
So, okay, all right, let me just jump in. Was this like an NPR type station you were listening to?
No, sir. This is the local station that plays.
It's probably just stations do this public affairs programming where the stations that don't normally discuss, if they're music stations, community topics, they'll throw something in. AJ handles all that for us at Cumulus, and these can be good programs, and sometimes they're just they're a little late because I think the bill will resurrect itself because the party establishment wants it. It's the Republicans that started pushing it because it's actually the opposite. They feel like the Democrats are going to, because they don't have power right now. The true scenario here in Alabama is that it's likely going to be the Republican primaries are dictating who runs the state. So they need to change jerseys and get on the other team and get involved in the primaries. And so Republicans have gotten paranoid that somehow they can smoke that out through a registration system. And I'm telling you, they're gonna close themselves off. The fear since the 90s, they've been talking about this since the 90s when I was actually involved with the party, is that you do alienate independents, moderates. The Republican brand has gone downhill along with the Democrat brand. And so if you're going to attract voters to your party and to your cause or whatever you're doing, you're going to need more, not less. And if you wall yourself off into a country club, which has to have membership, then some people just aren't going to show up and vote for you. Maybe that's what they want because fewer voters mean cheaper elections and they can control the candidate qualification that way. In other words, if you aren't registered and you hadn't been in the party for 5 years, you're not eligible to run. Maybe they try to smoke out the qualification verification, but
it's not a spam burger situation.
It's totally, exactly. You nailed it. I'm more cautious. I understand the premise, and I've been on both sides of the argument over the years, but the way the state is now, the Republican Party, because they do look at that way the legislature just behaved in the last session, because they do have all the power right now. They do need more competition of candidates. They don't want to become a closed system where the incumbents are the only people that ever can run, because that's what they're trying to do, is trying to wall it off so the people that are already in the tent can run forever without real challenge because of the qualification rules and the party registration rules. And then Democrats couldn't fill a Waffle House right now with their ability to win statewide. So, and you let the Supreme Court throw out gerrymandered districts. Democrats are dead in this state. That's all they get by on right now are minority drawn districts. There are a few white liberals left in the state that'll associate with that party. But being a country club and being elitist about it is not what got the Republicans to the majority in the first place.
So I've had my thoughts wrong about this situation all weekend.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You got it flipped. It's the Republicans that are actually pushing it. Some Democrats are for it too, but, and I don't know how the presenter presented it or whether they even knew what they were talking about, but it did fail because, again, some of the, I think it was House members and maybe some of the Senate members went home, and there are people in their district that's like, look, I'll vote for you, but I'm not going to swear I'm a Republican on any kind of piece of paper. And that's the Republicans have done that to themselves basically nationwide by failing in Congress and stabbing us in the back in Montgomery.
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, I was just fearing that the Democrats would somehow start getting all these seats and stuff, and they'd fill up Montgomery with Democrats, and then they'd vote in a Democrat governor, and then all of a sudden they'd be changing the laws that little boys can still play with girls, and we're going to transgender all the people in the prisons, and things of that nature, raise your taxes, and it's like, we don't need none of that crap here. And I agree, we got some wishy-washy Republicans. And we need some new breed, new blood in a lot of places, not just in the states, but in the main government of the United States, man.
I got you, man. Daryl, good call today, buddy.
I appreciate your time.
I appreciate it, too. One more thing I wanted to tell Daryl, though, maybe he'll listen off the air, is if you want to look at what they believe, and I'm not trying to just be dismissive, the party label's meaningless nowadays, especially in Alabama. We've had a metamorphosis where we had people that are, quote, real Republicans. We even had a euphemism or a little acronym for years called rhinos, supposedly Republicans in name only, which means they weren't really Republicans, but they carried the brand. Well, now the brand's dead. It's not dead, but it doesn't carry the weight it did, y'all. And I'm telling you, I got friends that are still good Republicans, solid. I speak to their clubs. I've got friends that are elected. I still know that on the whole, they still believe the same things you and I believe, but they're not acting on it. And they get away with more down in Montgomery than they even do in Washington. Washington is stagecraft. It is, for years I've said, it's professional wrestling and Montgomery's backyard wrestling. I mean, they just have to stage fights and almost know who's going to win on each end. But you got to look good when you go home that you put up a fight. And if you want to know what their motivations are, just look at who owns them. If they're taking thousands in teacher union money, they're not what you would call a traditional Republican at all, because the reforms in education that we need will never be agreed to by these union members. And we've already caught Republicans in the last couple of years. I smoked one of them out, trying to get the teacher union back to being able to take dues straight out of the paychecks of these teachers before they even, without really having much choice. A lot of these teachers don't even want to be in that association, but they sort of feel like they have to. Then they get their dues snatched. That got removed years ago, and it killed the Democrat stranglehold. But the teachers union smartly realized the Republicans are now in charge. So again, they took off their blue jersey and put on a red jersey and started giving money to Republicans to get the same results. Power Company owns the whole place. For good or bad, Alabama Power owns that whole place. And they just got what they wanted with the PSC bill. So it ain't about party level, it's about money. And it always will be. Especially, you can buy a senator in the state of Alabama cheap. It's a whole lot cheaper than buying a congressman. You can absolutely push one of them around and buy them for not a whole lot of money. And the price goes up every year. And that may sound overly simplistic, but it's damn true. Their motivations are always something other than this phony thing we see out front and all the rhetoric and the chicken dinners they go to and talk all the smack about how great they're going to fight. And, oh, I've been a Republican since 1955 when there was only two of us. We could meet in a phone booth. That means nothing if you just took money from the bad guys and are voting their way and just putting up a front. Democrats have the same problem for different reasons, but it's all gotten that way. And I guess what I'm saying, there is no real integrity to the brand labels anymore. The truth is in the money. Follow the money. Man, I had a whole nother segment planned for this hour, and Daryl got me squirreled. Is Shane still there, AJ? Might as well stick with the calls for a minute, and then we can do the next break. Shane.
Yeah, I'm here.
What's up with you, man?
Hey, buddy. Man, my call is going to be so insignificant compared
That's
to
okay.
Daryl's call.
I need insignificant
right
right now. That's okay.
I'm going to tell you, man, your interaction with him and his, I wondered that myself about what he asked, and I was coming out of left field. I was like, well, I'm going to tell him about Circuit City and Radio Shack, where you can build your own system.
Yes.
And or you could just go to Circuit City and let them put your system in your truck. And I'm like, I hear Daryl, I'm going, wait a minute. Maybe I shouldn't ask this question.
No, I love it.
Anyway,
hey, you're speaking my language, because we called it a system, and you put a system in your car, man. And kids don't know anything about that stuff now.
That's right. I'm 1 year younger than you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget, Ranburne, Alabama, Bulldog.
That's right.
Put it on you every now and then.
I got you, bro.
Anyway, man, love you, show. Love AJ. And hey, man, that was a great call by Daryl. And I also wanted the same thing, and it made a lot of sense. And I appreciate you addressing it. And my call may be insignificant, but hey, get your boombox going from Circuit City, baby.
I wish Circuit City was still. I used to love going in there. Thanks, Shane. See, I just brought up a bunch of old man memories. You don't know nothing about it, AJ. No, you're young and you're old enough.
I know about Circuit City and Radio Shack and all those places. I mean, I used to live in Texas when Radio Shack headquarters was out there in the Dallas area.
We would cut grass like I did. I mean, some of my friends' parents would just buy their stuff, but we would save up our money to get to Alpine. You know what I'm saying? If you was letting the Alpine play and you had a nice system in your car, and you had to do it yourself. I mean, there were techs that would install it, but you didn't want to be a poon. We'd go to each other's houses on the weekend and just figure out how to cut holes and run wires, man. It was just some of the best memories I ever had. In fact, true story, I installed speakers in Danny Knowles' wife's car in high school. True story. Sherry had the same car I did and found out I had put my own speakers in. I said, I can do it. So I went over there and fixed it. I was the fix it guy. Mm-hmm. But I could put some speakers in a car, and I enjoyed doing it. I enjoyed trying to solve the problem and figure it out. But now they don't even do that anymore. These kids are just on their iPhones all day. They don't have life like we had it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go to like a rim place, something like that. It's gonna have like speakers and all that stuff.
Yeah, I gotta go over to the hood, man. They will still have stuff. Best Buy has sold us all out. I felt some type of way walking out of there. This little punk was just looking at me like, "What are you asking?" Like I'd gone in there and asked for like a buggy whip or something. Like I went in there and said, "Young man, is this a fine place to buy a saddle? I need one for my ride." Sir, we use cars now.
Cars? What is that? Oh my God, that's that doohickey. I heard something like that.
And just think, we're living in an era. Not only will we not be able to work on the car or do our own radios and have fun with all that stuff, the thing's going to be driving itself. You won't even drive. You won't even have the thrill of shifting gears and taking a curve. You're just going to sit there till you get to where you're going, flipping your phone, flip, indoctrinating yourself on the way to be indoctrinated somewhere else. Man, enough of the conspiracy theories. Crocker Moving Services next up on the show. Eric Crocker and his whole team. Two things to give you about them. If you got a move coming up this year, and sometimes this is, there's a huge uptick in moves. People like to do that in between school years and during the summer months. People will sell and buy. They'll buy and sell in the spring and do a lot of moving. There's sort of a season to it. I guess people don't want to do that during the holidays so much. So if you've got something planned this summer in between the school seasons or whatever you've got going, kids going off to college, you need help, let Eric Crocker and his team help. They can scale their services down to 2 hours, or they can full-fledged pack your whole house and take you across the country, whatever you need to do. This is a wonderful company that reflects Eric, who's the owner, former Marine, just a squared away, do it right, honorable guy. And I say it all the time. Don't you want to just work with good people, honorable people? That's Eric. And that's also who you want to work for. If you're looking for work or you got a kid in the house that needs to be busy and working, Eric's hiring for the summer. And maybe if they do well enough, they'll keep them on. This is not easy work. You got to be strong. You got to be respectful. You got to pass their test and clean background check, all that stuff. They're going to check you. But if you want to work in a great environment around some strong guys doing things right and be inspired by that, or somebody in your family that needs work, y'all reach out to Crocker. They're hiring, and they will put them to work this summer getting stuff done for people all over Alabama. It's CrockerMovingServices.com, CrockerMovingServices.com. Back here in just a minute. All right, it's 3:26. Leland Live Talk 995 Alabama Dental. I got the weirdest memory as soon as I said that. Dr. Brian, every time I get in my tractor, I think about Dr. Brian. It's a true story. Because he used to make fun of me because he was all bougie and had a cab tractor. And he and I were comparing tractor work one day, and he was just like, "Oh, but I'm in a cab. I'm not sweating like you," because he listens to the show on his tractor radio sometimes. And so I finally got AJ. I got me some AC, got me some tunes, got a cab. I'm gonna be working out this summer out in the outdoors. And I think about Dr. Brown. I'm like, take this, homeboy. I got one too now. Don't even be trying to big shot me. He's my dentist. He's my friend. He can be your dentist too. He and all the dentists at Alabama Dental. It's such a good practice. 4 dentists in the practice, 4 different specialties, hours that make it easy on you to squeeze in something you probably don't even feel like doing anyway, but you need to do. It's alabamadental.com. Y'all reach out to him, get your appointment. If you haven't been in a while, don't overdo it. Don't wait. It's a necessary thing, just part of life that we all have to take care of. alabamadental.com. All right. This is the weirdest story that's come across all day. We've got different headlines breaking at us. I don't know what to make of it. I'll just throw it at you real quick. Apparently, there's been a big tourist shooting in Mexico at the pyramids in Teotihuacan. Multiple people have been shot and injured. We don't know what happened, but it appears all these tourists were targeted. Now, it's Mexico, so the mind boggles with the possibilities here. This may have been targeted at Western tourists. Sometimes Americans stand out in tour groups. This is the kind of thing I think a lot of you've seen, have gone to these places and walked the steps. And these pyramids, I think I forget how long they've been there, but I remember I had this teacher in high school that he loved going to Teotihuacan and talk. That's how I can pronounce it so easily because he talked about it all the time. He was sort of an amateur archaeologist. But there's some video coming out of people just running for cover. And this place is out in the open. I mean, it's just easy to see from almost 360 degrees. They're not like quite as tall as the pyramids in Gaza. One of these videos is focusing on a guy who's up top. And I don't know if the case is that the guy was up top and shot from a superior, like upper position. This guy seems to be really calm while other people are freaking out. So I don't know if this is a video of the shooter, but something has gone down in this tourist attraction. We'll let you know if we get any updates on that. Man, all kind of stuff breaking loose in the news this afternoon. As you head home, we'll keep you up to date, including Obama's birthplace back in the news, the circumstances of where he was born. I don't know how this is back in the news. I thought this was old information, but we'll talk about that on the other side too. 545-9950 if you want to get in on the show. Bring it. We've already started with the calls today. Again, 545-9950. Leland Live, Talk 995. Y'all hang in there. All right, y'all, let's get straight back at it this hour. Developing News Monday, things happening all over the place. Keeping up with this tourist shootout that apparently went down in Mexico at the pyramids. A lot of American tourists are down there, which is, violence in Mexico is not new, but see it happen where it could very much affect Americans. And for whatever reason, remember, we're in the middle of this shooting war with Iran. I call it a war. I mean, they don't have a military, but they still have proxies. They still have terror cells. They're desperate to find any way to leverage or get back at Americans. I'm not saying they're connected, but every time something happens, my mind immediately goes there until we can figure out otherwise. So details on that here in just a little bit. Storm restoration roofing, man, as we head into spring, that little thing we got Saturday night wasn't much. It was nice to knock the dust down, but it didn't help the drought too much. And here we are still, believe it or not, in spring storm season. We've just been lucky, no major severe weather, but we also need the rain. Even rain and sunshine will wear down on your roof over time. They have a lifespan. They're not made to be permanent. And no matter, people buy these roofs and say, "Oh, that's a 20-year roof," but it's probably not going to last 20 years. Things happen over time, and you need to reach out to Greg Nelson at Storm Restoration Roofing if you need a replacement. And bigger than that, with the storm season, you could suddenly need a replacement or a repair because things happen, hailstorms and wind and all kinds of stuff. And if it winds up being an insurance claim, you better have a roofer that can do a quality job and knows their stuff and knows how to work with these companies so you can have your claim honored. I'm telling you, if you do it wrong, the insurance companies are not obligated to cover that roof under certain circumstances. So you got to make your case. Do it with Greg Nelson in Storm Restoration. He'll just come out and make sure, because he knows what they're not going to accept and what they will accept and what they need to look at that they might miss, and he'll get you squared away this way. He's a great guy, long-time caller to the show, but a much longer roofer. He's almost 30 years in the business with his whole family involved, and y'all know I love a good local 2- and 3-generation business, which is what Storm Restoration represents. He works on a phone number, so get ready to jot it down. I'm giving you a second. Sometimes you got to find something to write down. The number, here's the number, 205-542-3531, 205-542-3531, Storm Restoration Roofing. Real quick on the Obama thing, since I teased it, and we'll get back on these phone calls. It all of a sudden all over my internet feed, and I guess it could be algorithms, but these people seem to think that it's a big breaking story that Obama's been caught using a fake Social Security number his whole life. And that's not a new story. I don't know if it's legit or not. Let's just explore it real quick. So Obama is using the Social Security number of a man from Connecticut who died in Hawaii. And the conspiracy is Obama's mama worked in a courthouse where she had access to the death records in Hawaii. And after he was born, may have pilfered the, identity theft's been going on long before modern technology, may have just co-opted this guy's Social Security number for whatever reason. He was known as Barry Soetoro, but when he wanted to feel exotic, he called himself Barack Obama, adopting his estranged father's name. And so he's a guy of many shades of weird stuff in the past anyway, but he's already been president. And people will talk about, well, he was illegitimately president because you have to be a natural-born American citizen. That's water under the bridge. Even if somebody proved this case, look, his policies were bad enough. He's a total fraud. The guy participated in a coup against the United States, period. Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, Brennan, and Comey should all be indicted tomorrow for concocting a fake story and trying to present a coup to a dutifully American elected president in 2016 and beyond. That's much more serious than all this crap about his birth certificate. So the story about his number not matching, it's not a Hawaii number. It's not a number anybody should have from that time period. In the sequencing, that's how Social Security numbers used to be given out. It's not a real big surprise because that story was out there and vetted before. I think the excuse is that the Social Security Administration recycled some of the numbers of dead people, and he might have gotten that number after that dude died. But some people dispute that because I think the dude died after Obama was born, which wouldn't make sense either. Perhaps they applied for a Social Security card for him after the dude died. But either way, it's just, I mean, suddenly it's just everywhere. It's like, Barack Obama is a fraud. Well, look, I mean, yes. But I think it's chasing a dead ghost to go back and try to indict his whole presidency because of its illegitimacy. Because even if so, what is anybody going to do about it? I mean, Joe Biden, they stole an election for Joe Biden. That's a fact. That happened. Then some people may be arrested for it. I doubt it. Those laws are hard to prosecute. The consequences of his presidency have already happened to the country. We're trying to reverse engineer the spending and the inflation and the flood of people they let in here. And among those stories are an Iranian today who was busted selling weapons out of L.A. This woman was she's working for Iranian intel and selling drones to the rest of the world, including Sudan, and got busted with another pallet full of cash. That's the bigger problem. We have let this world become a petri dish for the rest of the world's problems, and they all got to come here during the Biden administration. The bigger story there is they stole the damn election and put this fool in power, and he couldn't even find the toilet. And a whole committee, probably including Obama, were running the show during that 4 years and did a hell of a lot of damage to this country. But we'll see if that story, it's interesting, I guess, if there was something shady going on with his birth. We know that I guess it was around, when was that story so hot? About 2009, around 2010, they put a copy of his birth certificate out to make the story go away, which to me made it more suspicious because the copy that they put out was clearly a forgery, provable forgery. So why would they forge it? Well, it meant it didn't exist. When he was president and before he ran for re-election, this was significant. But in the crafty way they do things, they got away with it. It's water under the bridge, and I don't think it matters. But people are wee-weed up this afternoon about it. All right, back to the phones. Here we go. Line 3 is Lester on a cell phone. What's up, Lester?
Good afternoon. I'm 72 now. Back when I was 17 years of age, there was a CB craze going on. Some people don't even know what a CB is.
Oh, yeah. I've got one in my truck, dude.
All right, man. Hey.
Yeah.
Putting an age on yourself.
Yes, I know it.
But I installed mine. Kmart, if you remember Kmart's.
Yeah.
They had an electronic department, and they had this little slide-in, slide-out mount that you could put underneath your dashboard where you didn't have to undo all of your cables and wires to your CB radio. You just slid it in. It would make these springers connect, and you could pull it right back out and stick it in your trunk because they were being stolen. I used to mount them in dashboards, had all the saws. Anyway, so my buddy came over to the house, and he said, can you fix mine? I've got to undo all these wires. And I said, yeah. So I soldered some connections and made it so he could go ahead and do what it was supposed to do, slide it in and slide it out. Well, he told his buddy. I fixed his, and it just started at domino effect. It just rolled and rolled and rolled. So I got from there and started peaking radios. It used to be 5 watts. Then they dropped it in Florida to 2.5, and now I think at one time it was 1.5 watts.
Mm-hmm.
But I started learning how to peak all that stuff out. But today, this generation probably doesn't even know what a CB radio is. And
well, they don't need to. They got cell phones. I mean, it was pretty neat back then to be able to just talk to some random person over the airwaves that you could hear talking. And I've got friends that got into ham radios, but my uncle had a Pontiac with one in it, and I would sit out in his car, especially after Smoking the Bandit came out, and just sit there and listen to truckers and people talk all day long. I loved it. It was good fun.
Oh yeah, especially if you catch the skip.
Yep.
Ain't no telling how far away that you could
oh
talk.
yeah,
and
good times.
Our cars that had steel bumpers, we would go to these power line poles and towers and back up to it, jump up and down, make a good connection, and it turned that tower into an antenna.
Are you serious? So, I didn't know about that.
I'm serious. Yeah, we did that quite a bit in Florida. Yeah, but you just touched on a memory, about doing all that kind of stuff, and it's a go find somebody else generation now.
Oh, it is. Everything's disposable. Somebody does it for you. Everything's really programming, and I don't know. I miss I know we sound like a bunch of old guys talking about the old days, and technology is amazing nowadays, but these kids are helpless. They can't do anything. Thanks, man. Thanks, Lester.
Yep.
Now, hey, Lester, not only do I have one in my truck, I just remembered there's one came in my motorhome, and every now and then I'll reach in there and turn it on just to listen to the truckers talk, but I've never really used it. AJ, do you have a CB handle, man? You didn't have one.
I don't have a CB handle, so I do need a cool one. But I don't even have a CB radio, though.
I would make up one in the moment when I was a kid because my uncle would let me talk on there. And then my best friend's grandfather, he had the best one ever. He had a tower behind his house and had his home CB hooked to it, so he could just talk to people. And I remember his handle was Gatorbait. If Terrence is listening, he'll remember it. I don't know where it came from, but we knew that was his CB handle. But yeah, he would sit there and just do it from his house. Nowadays, everybody's just addicted to their phones. They don't understand all this stuff we're talking about right now. But I still have two of them, yeah. But one in my truck really doesn't work right. The antenna never did get tweaked out, so I need to. Emergencies, you never know, man. You never know. One day the EMP's going to hit. Well, I guess it'd get my radio too, wouldn't it? Oh, y'all, let's go to Tom in Calera. Let's keep the phone calls going. Tom, what's up, buddy?
Hi, guys.
Hey, Tom.
I've been voting for a long time, and they'd always put down there Republican or Democrat. And I'd swap it out every time, and I'd vote for whoever the hell I wanted to, whether it's a Democrat. I could say I was a Democrat, I'd vote all Republican. Always did, always will. So I don't see what the big deal is. Just vote for who the hell you want to.
Well, you're talking about
in those days.
You're talking about the general election, which would still be true under this law they proposed, because you go and you could vote up and down the ballot. This is for primary voting. So what they want to do is go to a system where to go out and vote in the primaries, you had to already be registered with one of the two parties, or I guess maybe a third party, and that's what some people object to. It's not about the general.
Well, I had a couple of thoughts come in when y'all was talking. These kids today may not know how to put on a CB. I think damn sure tune your damn cell phone and your computer for you, can't they?
I've had my grown son snatch my phone out of my hand and do something that I couldn't figure out. They'll just do it and hand it back to me. I'm like, hey, don't be like that. I'm not that old
you
yet.
You got to be careful. Ain't no telling what them boys and girls have been up to.
Oh, they're good kids. Thanks,
have a
man.
Good day now.
All right. Yeah, I was having trouble pairing some iPods that I had just gotten. And my oldest son's just like this. He treats me like I treated him when he was 8. And so he just grabbed my phone, he grabbed the iPods, and he did it for me and handed it back to me. I was like, man, I could have figured it out. Something was going wrong. He just did it. I was like, all right, I guess I'm ready for the old folks home. Alan's in Nectar. What's up, Alan?
How you doing, brother?
Yo.
How you doing, buddy?
Yo, man.
Oh, yeah, this was back. You remember when we had the phones that had the antennas on them?
Oh, Lord, yeah, that you had to flip up.
Yeah, it was in your home. And
sort of, yeah. Like a wire. We called them wireless, but cordless is what we call them. Cordless phone.
You'd pull the antenna up on it.
Oh, yeah.
Metal antenna like on you. Yeah. Well, I didn't find this out till later, but my neighbor was one of those ham radio people. And he listened to every conversation in the neighborhood on that damn ham radio and those antennas on the phones with the antennas.
Oh, yeah. Even on the realistic police scanners, you could hear the early days of cell phones before they changed to truncated frequencies. As a young reporter, I could hear people's cell phone calls. I didn't mean to. I was scanning for police traffic. You could hear people just talking to their girlfriend on the police scanners in the early days of cell phones. That's true. Yeah.
He knew everybody's business.
Yep.
I didn't know this till 20 years later.
Yep. There you go, Alan.
Love you, brother.
All right, man. Thank you, man. And, my grandmother, they had their own version of that. They called it prayer concerns. That's how they knew everybody's business. No, seriously, I've told this story before. I came upon an ATF raid by having, so sounds like a long story. When I was a young reporter, I was on the police beat, and we just kept a plain old realistic police scanner that was handheld in the car with us everywhere we went. And I had a personal one because I was on call all the time. And I was in a town, a few towns over from where our television station was. Had the scanner on one night. I think I was waiting on my brother to bring me something. I was sitting in a post office parking lot, true story, and I overheard some ATF traffic on a cell phone. They weren't on their radios, and they gave me the details of where they were about to go raid a house. I had the camera in the car. I thought, I better roll over there. This might have a news tip here. Well, I got there before they did, and this dude rolled up on me and like got me out of the car and wanted to know how I knew they were about to raid this house. I didn't want to compromise the raid, so I was further back. And he said, you can stay, you can cover the story, but how did you know? How did you know before we even got here? And so I remember I knew the guy because I'd been on a couple of stories with him. He was one of the commanders, I guess, of that ATF unit. And I just pulled out my little realistic radio. I said, you need to tell your boys not to be talking on cell phones. Everybody can hear that. And he just turned like the shade of white. He went, really? I said, yes, your agents were talking to each other. I just heard it on my scanner traffic. And so I guess I sort of got myself out of it, but it taught them a lesson too. A lot of people didn't understand that back in the day. I'm just saying, old man communication stories today on the show. Distinctive Pools bringing you the show today too. DistinctivePools.com. Y'all listen, if you're thinking about a swimming pool, don't do it cheaply. That doesn't mean it's got to be expensive, but you don't want a cheap, poorly built or poorly designed pool on your house. It could devalue your house. Also, it could be a whole lot of work. Some pools, if they're not designed properly, are difficult to maintain. If you want it done right, do it with the people who've got Gary Levesque's got 40 years experience himself. Then you add the experience of his crews and everybody involved. It's distinctivepools.com. They build beautiful stuff. It'll be designed right. You'll love it. It'll add value to your home. And it's all up to you. Get as creative as you want to, because they also do the outdoor sort of space stuff too. We talk about it every night. You might want to include an outdoor kitchen or outdoor living space with TV and a fireplace and maybe an outdoor kitchen. All that, they can do all that for you. Waterfalls, patio extensions, all that hardscape stuff. Make it all tie in and look beautiful with Distinctive Pools and our good friend and American veteran Gary Levesque at distinctivepools.com. Distinctivepools.com. Back here in just a minute. Y'all, Alabama Bass are ready to bring you the show again tonight, too. Y'all, I love the concept of what they do for people and how they're able to help, especially with people. If you're getting a little older, maybe you've lost some mobility, maybe you just don't want to slip and fall in your bathtub. They're slick, they're slippery, it's out-of-date stuff. Let them change all of that with Alabama Bass. Again, another company, Mike's been around he's older than everybody else there. Mike, this is a double generation company, 40 years experience with Mike alone. Some of their employees have been there 25 years. That means they're happy where they work. They love what they do. Those are the kind of folks going to do it right for you. If you want this done, look, no corporate pressure, none of that sales pitchy stuff. They're just going to bring you a better product, better looking, better services, better materials, better everything, better price, 2-day project. They're done. They'll come in and tear out that old one. Get rid of that thing all the way down to the studs, bring in their system customized for your space. And when they're done, you'll have something beautiful that's a whole lot easier to use. Again, slip-proof surfaces and handles and shelving and ergonomic plumbing that just makes sense. It's a whole lot easier to secure yourself in there and get refreshed and cleaned. Y'all reach out to them and let them come see you and talk about what they can do. Or you can go to Pelham and take a look at one of their build-outs of these systems in their showroom. It's alabamabass.com, alabamabass.com. Here's John. We got lots of great calls today. John's over on line 2. What's up, John?
Hey, Leland, how you doing today?
Hey, man, doing well.
Okay, I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible, but you sparked my memory from 2 weeks ago when you said that your grandchild took the phone away from you, right?
Yeah, my child, my grown son. Yeah.
Yeah, citizen band radio, the whole 9 yards. I'm 60 years old. I'm sitting in my little town called Adville.
Yeah,
probably never heard of it. And I'm looking up in the sky. I'm out at my mom's house. I'm looking at the sky, watching a plane go by. And I look at my daughter. I said, and I used that stupid word that we've been using. Reckon where that plane's going.
Reckon.
Yep. And my daughter, who's 30 years old, she said, Dad, hand me your phone. And she put an app on my phone called Flight Radar 24, and you can point your phone towards that plane. It'll tell you where it took off, when it departed, and where it's going.
That's frightening.
And it was very frightening, and you can pull the thing way back, just like looking at a radar map or a weather map, and you would not believe how many planes are in the air at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
It is insane. But anyway, it's called Flight Radar 24. And if you get bored like I do sometimes at my age, and you just say, hey, reckon where that plane's going, and you pull it up, and it'll I think the first one I looked at, it had just left Fort Lauderdale, a couple hours ago, and it was headed to JFK. So that's out there, man, and that's what us as public citizens can see. So what does the CIA see?
What do the terrorists see? Yeah.
Yeah, you got a point. But anyway, I wanted to share that with you, man, and I appreciate it.
All right, brother. Thank you, man. A little tech talk tonight. Little tech talk. Speaking of tech talk, this story coming across, Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, has officially stepped down from Apple. Uh-oh, what's that about? I don't know. Apparently, a guy named John Ternus will take his place. Maybe it was something that was planned. Tim Cook, of course, with connections here to Alabama. We'll give an update on this Teotihuacan, Mexico pyramid shooting in just a minute, too. It may not involve Americans, it seems. We'll let you know about that. Other breaking news when we get it. Leland Live, Talk 99.5. Y'all stay tuned.